First off, I want to talk about where we've come from and what we've done. So, we took over in April of 2024 is when APA allowed us to take over, which was the start of the summer session. They don't classify it as being a full year until it's spring to spring. So we didn't get any recognition for anything that we've done from April to December. But what we've actually done is we bought it and we took over with 24 teams. Yes, we took over in 2024 and we started with 24 teams. We ended up actually growing to 54 teams by the end of spring because of you guys. We don't get any recognition for that. I give all the recognition to you guys. You guys are the ones that help us build this league and grow this league. Because of that, over the course of the year and a half that we've ran this, we've actually given away over $1,400 in referral fees. Team fees, if you split a team, if you refer a player, we're giving away money and referrals for that as long as we know who the players are and whether or not it was actually recorded. If you just brought somebody in and you didn't actually give us any information, it might have been looked over, but $1,400 is what was given away. We sent one 8-ball team, one 9-ball team. We were able to send 2 Masters teams. We sent a ladies team. We sent 8-ball doubles teams, 9-ball doubles teams, and a Jack and Jill team, all to last year's Vegas events. The PPCs were in at the end of April, and the 2 8-ball and 9-ball teams were all in August, along with the just with that. We were able to fill an entire SUV full of toys for last year's charity event. Last year, December 12th, we actually ran a charity event where all the kids, we stuffed a toy, we did a chip tournament. We're doing the same exact tournament this year, except for this year we're doing it for Phoenix Children's Hospital, but we're doing it for the oncology ward. Same facility. Last year we did it for the kids, this year we're going to do it for the oncology ward. Hopefully we can actually fill a whole other car, an SUV, and give away the toys and have a fun tournament. We've hosted a few fun tournaments, like the Tag Your Egg tournament is a reoccurring event now that comes every year. Everybody seems to like it and enjoy it. It's going to happen the same time every year. We've started to settle in as league operators, and to be honest with you, our first month and a half, we were learning how to do this job. We didn't really, I've been a player for years. I've never been on the backside of it. So it's quite different when you're on the backside. I'll just tell you that. I've had to give up shooting a lot. As much as I enjoy shooting, I do still shoot kind of like at home, but I just had to give it up. I don't have time to do it with all the computer work and Facebook posts and everything else that's coming around. We're still learning and trying to fine-tune ourselves to be the best league operators that we can be in the Valley or around that you guys might have experienced. Owning a franchise, totally different than what I've ever expected in my life. I never saw myself here, but it is whether or not people understand it as a shooter's perspective, it is a franchise owner. I have to get approval for almost everything that I have to do to make sure it is legal and that the APA that can put their stamp on it. So it's not like, oh, I can just do this. I have to get approval or I could lose my franchise. They could come in and take it from me. So this is something that is very serious and different to us. This year, what we're going to be changing. So a lot of this, some of this is new to you guys. Other this is going to be familiar. When we took over in April, Doug and Gina refused to do electronic scoring, and everybody was still on paper. Well, when we brought it in, we opted to do electronic, but we didn't force it on anybody. We allowed everybody to have an option. This year, starting in spring, there will be no option. We're going to give options somewhere else, and I'll get to that in a minute. But for right now, electronic scoring will be implemented. There will be no more paper copies in your envelopes or in your packets. The only thing that will be in your packet is a manila envelope and any type of flyer information that we want to pass to you guys. There is some appetizers there if anybody wants any. What's that? Oh, yeah, help yourself. All teams will be using the electronic scoring app. If you are not already using it, you can download the app from the Google Play Store. You can do it from your phone, and we'll go over some of the fine things with the phone. It doesn't have to be only on one phone. The captain does not have to be the only one keeping the score. We would prefer you guys to start implementing, as a captain, a policy with your team. Like, for example, if you shoot a match, score a match. This is where APA is going. This is the only reason why we're making it mandatory now for electronic scoring, is because from our conference or convention that we just went to, this is the future. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Question about electronic scoring, because lots of people don't like it, still using the paper, is for the tournament to go to Vegas. Is it going to be electronic now, or still on the paper?
They are about 2 months away from implementing it, which means by August, more than likely, you will be using electronic scoring in Las Vegas. So you might as well get used to it now. If something comes up and there's a hiccup and they can't get it out, then you might as well, it's going to happen by the following August, or the following, it's going to happen. So you might as well get used to it. We all pretty much are familiar with paper, so you might as well get used to electronic scoring. So that's kind of the big change that we're going to implement. The app is very user-friendly, and the captain's phone doesn't have to be the only one. Like I said, you can transfer a score sheet to another phone. If the captain's going to go up to shoot, transfer it to somebody else's phone. That way you can have your phone in your pocket.
Hey, Rick,
Yes.
say you got a new player coming on, though, and you got on your roster, how we've done in the past. We've kept that score on the paper.
So at this point, the player will have to be added by me, and I can go in and add that player instantly to the app. So because we are in the spring session, you will have 4 weeks to go in, alter, or edit your roster. After the 4 weeks, your rosters will be locked, and you will not have access. You will have to call either me or Kristen, and we'll have to go in immediately and actually add that person manually. And then you'll have to redo your app, and then we'll have to release the score sheets, and then you guys can see that person on the score sheet. It takes just a few minutes, nothing major. As long as we're not driving around or doing something at the moment, but you guys can get in there. Okay, it looks like all the apps are out, so you guys can help yourselves to whatever is over there, plates and anything over there.
Hey, Rich,
Yes.
can we get a paper money tracer though, tracker, weekly tracker? 'Cause
That will already be in there, yes.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
So, for the travel league, I will provide you with a patch sheet or something that you can track this stuff down. We're gonna go into the money side here in a little bit, because that's also kind of changing a little bit. There's several benefits to using the app, and this is the other reason and the other factor why we're going full electronic. The first benefit, every single match, every single put-up, everything that you do on that app is time-stamped. So, we've had complaints over the 1.5 years that people are shooting slow. I can tell you exactly how long the match takes if it's done on the electronic app. I can look at the app and I can say, why did this one match, a race of 2 threes, take an 1.5 hours? Because it's time-stamped. It's time-stamped when the match started, and it's time-stamped when the match ended. So, using that helps us judge it. All you have to do is fill out, you can go in and make an inquirement and say, hey, I was just inquiring, this team constantly shoots slow. I can sheets and I can look at all their matches. And I can actually dictate whether or not they are a team that shoots slow or what happened, or I can go after that team and ask them why it happened. All of your numbers, player numbers, I don't have to try to figure out your handwriting. I mean, whether or not it's is that a 7 or a 9 or is that a 6 or an 8, I don't know. I mean, I can figure them all out. I don't have to go back and look up who was shooting. All the matches are already in there, so I mean, everything goes quickly and easy. Defensive shots, make sure that you're recording defensive shots. All you gotta do is press a button for a defensive shot. Our biggest complaint, or our other complaint with this is simply stating, you do not have to match score sheets. Back in the day when we were filling out papers, at the end of the matches, we used to get together and we used to copy the score sheets. Does everybody remember that? Everybody used to just copy it. Well, copying it doesn't do anything to help people's handicaps. If you disagree that somebody had 31 innings, we have a system, and what we are trained to do is deal with situations about that. Just, if you think it was a defense, mark it a defense. I don't care if they have 0 defenses and you have 7 defenses. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out in the back end. If they have 33 innings and you have 23 innings, doesn't matter. We'll figure it out on the back end. Nothing has to match other than the score. You both have to agree on the score. If you are scoring 9-ball, at the end of each rack, look at your opponent and make sure the score is correct. All you need is a score. You don't need to know defense. You don't need to know how many innings they got, how many whatever. All you got to look at them and say, he made 5, he made 4. Yep, he made 5, he made 4. Okay, good score. And then you guys can move on. The players don't even need to be involved. I mean, it's just the 2 scorekeepers that need to be involved. We're also trying to, this is what we're not going to implement. Before we said, we only needed 1 person to keep score for each table. We're not going to make it mandatory, but we want you to start implementing double scoring when possible. What double scoring does is it gives us a better accurate picture of what the player is shooting like. So if you had 23 innings and they had 31, we have a way of dealing with that, and at least I have a more accurate picture. So who's padding innings and who's not padding innings? Who's adding safeties that aren't adding safeties? Who's leaving safeties off then the other team had safeties? So it's giving us a better picture of what the handicaps are going to be like. Any questions with that? All right. So I'm going to skip ahead 1 slide, and then I'm going to come back to this slide and play this video that's right here. So those of you that are not familiar with the Scorekeeper app, this video is about 20 minutes long, and it's going to kind of walk you through what the benefits of the Scorekeeper app are and what the app can and can't do. You can edit almost anything you want to edit to on the Scorekeeper app. Those of you that get frustrated and you don't know what's going and how it's going, you can actually just edit it from the app. Don't panic. It's just a swipe right or swipe left, and you can edit something. Especially in 9-ball. A lot of people freak out because they didn't get the ball count right. All you got to do is go back and edit it, and you can correct everything that you're correcting. The 2 apps that you will need on your phone look like this. One is your regular APA Pool League app, which covers your statistics, your schedule. It covers the standings in the division. The Scorekeeper app only keeps score, period. It does not do anything other than keep score. So it's basically your score sheet that you're not going to receive from us anymore. So go into the Scorekeeper app. It'll show you what team you're supposed to be playing. You can click on it, and then you'll start player match, so on and so forth. So that's what the 2 apps look like. Going double scoring when possible. That's what we're going to allow leniency on. We're not gonna make it mandatory. I don't need to see 5 matches over here and 5 matches over here just yet. So if you're scoring table 1 and they're scoring table 2, I will allow you to skip the matches. My only concern is that you skip the match. Do not, if I have you on table 1 and you were the first match, and they're on table 1 and they're on the first match, I need to know who shot first. And I can do that through timestamps, but then you're just causing me to look up more crap. Does that make sense? If you're on table 1 and this is table 2, whoever's scoring this one, mark match 1. Whoever's scoring that one will skip match 1 and go to match 2. And then you'll start match 2. This team, and when this match is over with, will skip match 2 and go to match 3. So on and so forth until you have 5 matches. So for right now, this year, I'm okay with having this team scoring 3 matches and this team scoring 2 matches or vice versa. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody not understand that? Okay. Yeah, when possible, if you can have somebody from your team go over and score that match, you can do it from your own player's phone or their phone, and you can double score that match. It doesn't make a difference. The other team cannot see what you guys are doing. That's the biggest problem with double scoring. So, if you want to know exactly where you're standing, and if you're going to bust 23 or something like that, the app will tell you if you're going to bust 23. So I mean, keep that in mind. So if you're double scoring, when possible, your team, whoever is on your roster, can see the score sheets live and up to date. So let's say, for example, so-and-so couldn't be here, he's in the hospital, or he's at work somewhere. He could actually log into the scorekeeper app, and he can see how his team is doing from wherever the heck he is, as long as you guys are double scoring. If you're scoring every match, they can keep it up to date. The Mahomes did this when Charles was in the hospital. So they started implementing double scoring because Charles was always wanting to know what the score was. They got sick and tired of texting every time. So if you just double score, it'll take care of it. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and show the video real quick. If you are familiar with the app and you want to get the appetizers, come up and get food. If you're not, just watch the video. It's only about 20 minutes long. It'll just take a few minutes to do this. So.
Reverse sign language. Just put Cactus on, I'll scream it. The volume's going up on the TV. Oh, I thought you were doing that.
You have language?
Ours was tough because we went to visit my partner. She was ill. She didn't join us for a lot.
Click on the next slide and press F5.
She was out. So we went over. She had to get then Charles stayed.
Oh, you put some beats on this, huh?
First things first, you have the player names at the top here and the rates, 0 to 4, 0 to 5 games needed. It also specifies who won the lag. I believe this is only visible when the match is in progress. It cannot leave it there after you've completed. And then you have your total running innings. The very top part of the screen in general is going to be your running totals. So you have your running totals of your defense and safeties, your timeouts, and obviously your running total of your innings. Once you get to the bottom of the screen, or kind of like the middle, this bar is going to show how many innings are actually in that particular game. So as your innings of the top go up and add together, this little blue box will actually reset every time that inning round is started. Some other helpful information that you can access while you're keeping score. If you pull this down and then use your back arrow button to kind of get back to your main screen, this is where you can do rosters. So if you're trying to plan out the next matchup, if you're throw next and you're trying to look to see people's skill levels, maybe look at skill levels for the opposing team, at any point you can pull this back up and continue scoring and come back down to continue to view your rosters. Your edit roster button is going to be found here as well. That's something that you can use during the first 30 seconds of play to make any roster changes that you need to make. That's another very helpful feature. If you need to get back to the screen that the scoreboard, you're just going to tap on your team with the 5 little dots and move back to your scoreboard. Let's talk about a couple things that we can edit. This is the very beginning of the match. We just opened up the match and we are getting ready to start. The blue button is always kind of your go button. Start match is going to bring up our coin and the question of who put up first. So we tap our coin and say, well, tails as hero, tails wins, and ask table dancers to put up first. So even though we won the coin toss, table dancers is putting up first. So they're the team I'm going to select on the screen. So let's say you made a mistake there. You initially were thinking who won the coin toss, and you accidentally picked the other team. At any point, you can just tap on table dancers put up first, and it will allow you to switch. You can do this at any point during the match, the sooner the better. Whichever team is selected will be the order that the roster is going to pull up when you start your player match. So let's say the very first match is going to be myself versus, let's say, the other team captain. And at the very beginning, they say, okay, so Jeff on the lag. So editing the lag is not something that you can do. If you come down, there's nowhere here that you can specify anything other than just winning the lag, and it will make a difference in the inning count. So, the sooner the better, you can reset your player match. So, bottom red button, and you type reset, and this is the only way. When you tap on the yellow, you deselect the players, and then you have to reselect the other player winning the lag for that lag to switch over to the other player. Another thing that you can do in edit mode is going to be after a round is completed. So let's say girls go a couple rounds here, and then Cheyenne, and we say make 8 ball. So it's going to credit one game to Cheyenne here at the top. Well, let's say that you realize that she scratched on the 8 and you just scored it wrong. So once you come down, so you're going to pull down, and then you're going to pull this blue to the left, and that's going to open up your edit button. Once a rack is completed, it has to be completed and grayed out, and you come into edit, you can come and select Cheyenne's name and how she won the game. So it's asking who ended the game. Cheyenne still ended the game, but it's going to allow me to change this to that she scratched on the 8 ball. That is going to give credit to Gail. This little back arrow button, I'll say this is on an Android, I'm pretty sure it's the same on an iPhone. You're gonna hit that a couple times, it'll bring you back to your main screen. And then you can either tap on just this blue box here, or you can slide up from this bottom here. You'll notice that the game has now changed with your gale. You will also notice that it has not changed your actual player that's at the table. So you do need to make sure to hit the button to go ahead and move it to gale. It's a running inning total at the end, so it's not gonna matter that that got marked in this draft and not the previous draft. Don't worry about that. What matters the most is that you have the proper games marked with the player that. Now let's talk about something you cannot edit. So let's say you're halfway through and you realize that you selected the wrong player for one of the teams. There is nothing you can do to edit this. The only option that you have is to slide this over, go ahead and reset the player match. So this is
Real quick on that note, so we've had a couple times where some players were named, like Chris F. John knows this. Chris F. and Chris Febreze. So Chris F. and Chris C. They selected the wrong Chris. They ran luckily the two players were exactly the same handicap. They ran the whole entire match, and at the end they realized it was the wrong Chris. At that point, in this app, just before you hit submit, there is a section that says players' comments. All I would say is go in there and say selected wrong player. You can just type this on your phone. Selected wrong player, should have been Chris F, not Chris C. I can fix that when I input. I do not need to fix, you don't need to go back and reset this whole entire match and reshoot it. Just let me know that you screwed it up, and then before I input it, I'll switch the players on the back. Does that make sense? So that's all you gotta do with that. She's not gonna tell you that. She's gonna tell you to reset the whole match. You don't need to do that.
that you, I would say, would want to do sooner than later, but if you're really at the very end of the match, it would be okay to maybe wait till you complete it, do a screenshot of games won, lost, and then go back and edit it at the very end of the night so you're not delaying play. Once you hit reset, you'll notice that the box turns yellow. You do not want to start a new match. What you want to do is you want to select the yellow box. It will allow you now to select the correct player against her so that you don't accidentally have the wrong two players that are in there. So here's a couple examples. This works for April and Nigel of what you can and cannot edit. The last tip I'm going to show you when scoring April, and this also works for Nigel, is sometimes you go to start the next match and you want to see the other team's roster, right? So if I hold my finger down and try to slide this up, you can see it's just not really participating. However, if I tap anywhere on here, it will go ahead and switch the rosters, and I can toggle back and forth between two teams. Let's talk about the 23 skill level limit rule and how the app helps you not break that. We can also talk a little bit about the replay rule that is there to help real forfeits. So in this particular match, we have one team that it's cut off a little bit, but they throw 17 of 23 skill level points. They throw a 4 or a 5, they're at 21 or 22 points. So regardless of who this team throws, they are safe from the 23 skill level violation. However, this team could throw a 5 and be at 23, or a 4 be at 22, but if they were to try and select their 7, notice that the screen alerts you of your 25 are the total points that they're throwing at this point. And the team would have to physically acknowledge that they're about to violate this rule before it will let the team do anything. So let's say it's a situation where that team does not have another player there. The only 5 people there are the 4 that have played and their 7 who they can't play at this point. The replay rule would kick in, assuming this team has alerted the other team prior to the first break of the 4th match, and assuming that every player that's played a match is still available to be selected. The other team could select one of the players that's already played, not their 7, because that would violate the rule, but let's say they decided to play Michelle Smith. Michelle Smith has already played and her name is grayed out. that's okay. You will still be able to select her as the fifth player in the match. The replay rule now prevents the forfeit and allows the fifth match to be played without a 23 syllable violation. So when you're scoring 9-ball, there's a few different scenarios that you can run into that you need to make some edits. Usually it's when you're comparing ball counts at the end of each rack and you have to go kind of match up with the other team. I'm going to show you a couple tips on easy ways to do that. In general, the player's name that is large here should be the player on the table, and as you select a ball at one time, that ball should go up under the player's name and you should see their points increase here. If you tap that ball a second time, you'll notice that the ball is marked dead and there's no points awarded to either player. And if you tap it a third time, it's going to go back on the table in the event you accidentally hit a ball that was not made. Let's say Corey breaks. He makes the 2 ball and the 4 ball in the crease. He gets hooked on the 1 ball, can't see it, he's just going for a good hit where he hits the 1 ball and hits the rail. That would be considered a defense shot. And then you'd end his turn. Then let's say Ashley gets to the table and makes the 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, misses the 8 ball, and then Corey makes the 8 and a 9. So my score is currently showing 10 to 10, right? Let's say I'm comparing with the other team, and I'm going to do this 2 different ways, just to show you the edit kind of sensitivities. So right now I have not ended the rack, right? The rack is still currently going. If I try to pull this down, let's say the other team says, oh wait, I have Ashley at 11 and Corey at 9. So we're gonna pull this down, we're gonna pull this to the side. It's not gonna let me edit game 2. If I tap on game 2, it's gonna just bring me right back to my normal score. I have to start a new rack for me to go in and make any edits. This is going to be your easiest way to correct things. So now you can see it's grayed out. Now I can tap on it, and it brings me to my edit screen. Here, I can do a few different things. So Corey made the 2 and the 4 on the break. Now let's say his team accidentally, they just weren't paying attention, they only saw the 4 ball go in, and then when they saw, Ashley makes a 1, 3, and 5, they had accidentally credited the 2 ball to Ashley. So on their score, it would show the 2 ball under Ashley. So here you can see it showing her getting 6 and him getting 4, when in reality it was a 5-5 rack. All you have to do is pull these balls from side to side. You hold on to it for a second and you can see you can easily pull it. You can even pull it as a dead ball. Anything you need to do so that the 2 screens match. I will also add here, you can make adjustments to innings, timeouts, or defensive shots for either player. Very helpful if you're trying to catch up, taking over score from somebody else. You can also delete the rack. That's going to happen from time to time, rarely, but button sample in case you need it. In a scenario that you would need to delete the rack would be if the 2 teams didn't agree. So let's say I'm positive that it should be 6 to 4, and I don't want to negotiate with the other team. We can't come to an agreement. The rules state that teams should be able to come to a compromise, but in the event they can't, the best way to kind of rectify the situation is to replay the rack. So there's 2 ways to do this. I'm going to go back to our main screen here, and then I'm going to go back to our score. So one way to do it is if you're currently on the rack, so we're going to say undo rack over here. We're going to go back to previous rack. I can use the 3 little dots here, and I can say reset this rack. Resetting the rack is going to delete all data. So notice that at the top here it says 3 innings. When I reset the rack, it's going to take away any innings that were added, defensive shots or anything like that. And now our score is back to 5 to 5. And we simply replay rack 2. When I come down here and I go to my edit, you'll notice that it is basically just reset game 2. So usually teams can agree on the balls that are made, especially balls.
Also, under those 3 dots, if the match were to ever come to a stalemate, does everybody know what a stalemate is?
You just hand him the ball back and forth.
So stalemate is when you both agree that neither one of you are going to attempt to make a ball. Which means the match is basically you're just going to keep giving ball and hitting back and forth. You do not have to do that 3 times. I don't know whoever told anybody that. The minute both players agree that they're going to do that, it's a stalemate. Under those 3 dots, that's where the stalemate says. And then you can click on the stalemate. All the balls in 9-ball that have already currently been made stay with the players. The rack will then be re-racked and re-broke by the original player. In 8-ball, there's no ball count. The rack just gets reset. So if you both agree that it's a stalemate, just click stalemate, be done with it. Move on. And replay the match.
Separate things like that. One weird thing, if you come to say made the 9-ball, the reckoning cannot be changed because an inning has been marked. This is really, if the player makes like on a snap or something, but it's not going to let you edit who made the 9-ball. And in that situation, you are going to have to go back into the actual rack. In this case, I could tap on U2, and I could say undo rack over. We're going to undo the start of the second rack. And then here, I would basically have to unselect the 9-ball, move it to Ashley, and then select the 9-ball again. Normally, you're catching that right after the rack is started because another player is breaking. So if you notice that, you can go back and you can start the new rack, but it's not going to let you change who made the 9-ball and your edit function. One thing you can do is move the 9-ball over, and that will adjust the points on the player's score. But just like in 8-ball, it's not going to adjust the player breaking at the tables, and you will have to use the blue button to go ahead and select for the other player to show that they're now on the table. Again, it's a running total of innings, so as long as that inning gets marked during the game, you're okay. So this example is about makeup matches in match order. We have a couple matches that are have been left open on purpose to give you an example of what makeup matches can look like. So if I tap into that match, keep in mind, this team played 2 matches on the original scheduled date, submitted their scores. Once we completed the input, we put it in as a partial, which opened this match back up for the team to score again at a later date. So that answers that question. Yes, please do submit your matches, even if it's a makeup match. At the top here, you'll see that there's 5 little dots. The grays represent matches that have been completed, blue is representing a match currently in progress, and the yellow represents a match that's been started, but no players have been selected yet. If I tap on those 5 dots, it's going to open me to my scoreboard. Again, you see the match is completed, the match in progress, and you see this weird yellow box. This means that somebody clicked the start player match button, but they never selected players. So if your intention is to score the 4th match, you do not want to hit the start player match button. You want to select the yellow box. That's going to open you in a match board where you can then select the players and make sure that those players are in the proper order. Select who wins the lag, and you'll see that now that match is blue. So that means that it's now in progress. If you accidentally select the wrong player for who won the lag, there's nothing you can do to edit that. It is one of the 2 things you cannot go back and reverse the button. You would need to go to the edit reset player match. Go ahead and type reset. And that's going to yellow out your box again because no players are selected again. So if you ever see a yellow box, or if you ever have to reset a match, please try to avoid selecting the new player match button. If you do that, it's going to start the 5th match, where really your intention was to score the 4th match. So if you see a yellow box, that should be the box that's selecting. You should not be starting a new match.
That's where I'm telling you to skip it if you're not scoring, double scoring.
You are in a position that has enough tables available where you can split your matches, or if you are running, a little bit behind one night and you have to split off and start your 5th match while you're finishing your 4th match, you can do that on Scorekeeper. As you can see here, both of these matches are blue, which means both of these are in progress. So basically, you normally want 2 different people keeping score on 2 different devices, but for sake of the video here, every time I just tap on this blue box, it's going to launch me into that game. And then all I have to do is pull this down, and it will bring me back to the scoreboard, where then I can actually tap on this one, and it will open up that game. So you could, in theory, keep score for 2 matches on one device. Ideally, we want a separate person from each team keeping score on each match, so that you would have technically 4 scorekeepers going whenever you have 2 tables playing. Now we're going to talk about some weird situations. These do not happen often, but if they do come up, we want you to know how to handle it from the scorekeeper app. So the first situation is a stalemate, where a player gives ball in hand to their opponent, and their opponent doesn't want to shoot. They give ball in hand back to the opponent, and neither player wants to shoot with ball in hand. That normally is what declares the stalemate. So, in this particular match, you can see we have 6 innings in this game. We have 21 total. Bill and Josh both have 1 rack to their names. And you can see there's some defensive shots on both of their records. Now, in a stalemate, I would reset the rack. The original person who broke the rack is going to break again. I'm going to click the 3 little dots, and I'm going to click reset rack. That is going to erase all data from this rack only. So notice that the top has now adjusted down 6 innings to 15, but both players still have their matches won for the previous racks played. The app knows that Jesse was the original player who broke the 3rd rack, so Jesse should be back in place at break, and they would replay the rack. Other situations. Let's say, so in this situation, I'm on the team with Gail, and we are playing against our opponent's team, and Jesse's playing for them. Let's say Gail gets a phone call, and she has an emergency, and she has to go. There's nothing that the rules can help here. It's continuous play. Unfortunately, this would be a forfeit situation. So, the 3 little dots again are going to bring up our forfeit individual match. As soon as I click this, I'm going to ask which player is forfeiting the match. I'm going to say Gail is the one forfeiting because she's the one leaving. It knows that the first rack was struck, so it does not cue you for that question. But if it is the beginning of a new match, it will ask you that. It does matter because when the 2 players, so here we're going to do it again, so Glenn versus Wendy. Say Glenn won the match there. So here, if I go to forfeit this match, it will ask if anybody struck a rack. Now, in the event I threw a player and no rack was struck, she got the phone call before, that player's skill level will not go in towards my 23 skill level cap. But if the rack was struck, then that player's skill level is used towards that 23 skill level limit, and that player cannot be used again. So if we say that the rack was not struck, it's going to ask which player forfeited. In this situation, we'll just say Glenn forfeited. Once you forfeit an individual match with the rack not being struck, that the team cannot play any more matches. Once you forfeit a match completely, you forfeit all subsequent matches. If you accidentally did that, you would click undo, and that will allow you to go in for the 5th match. But normally at this point, you would submit the scores. If there's any notes that you would like to leave to the league operator, you would type them here. So, Gail had emergency and had to leave early. So that's basically going to give a note to us so that we know why the match was forfeited. Kind of avoids us having to make a phone call or you having to call us. Sportsmanship rating is here. Please remember to fill this out. Your average every night should be a 4. The other team did something above and beyond, and we give them a 5. If they had some arguments or time management issues, those would usually be a 3. And if there was some actual, verbal occasions and unsportsmanlike comments and sharking done, we look at 2 stars. And if there was a physical altercation, and only if there was a physical altercation, would we want to see 1 star. If we see 1 star, we're calling both teams to find out what happened. So please use that sparingly and know that it will call our attention to contact you.
Okay, we're gonna stop it there because for us on the West Coast, the app very rarely goes down for us. It's mainly the East Coast gets all the problems and then they fix them. And then by the time we get to a pool league, they're all fixed. So I'm just gonna skip this part of it. We don't need this and all that. All right, so with all that being said, yes, we are going to go with the electronic app. Those are the benefits of it, things that you can change with it. The apps should look like this. You should have them downloaded. Every single person can download the apps. It's the same password that you use for both. So it's not like you have to start memorizing more than 1 or 2 passwords. Whatever you use to sign into the Pool League app is the same password to sign into the Scorekeeper app. Real simple. Once again, we're double scoring when possible. The app should be downloaded and still pay attention to the scoring, rack after rack, especially in 9-ball. Okay, moving on. We're done with the scorekeeping app. The other thing that's starting to slightly change is our bylaws. Now, when we first originally took over in April of 2024, we actually adopted Doug and Gina's bylaws. So because it was summer session, they just took their bylaws and put it on our website, and that's because theirs was approved. What we've learned after kind of reading all these and going into detail with them, like the first couple pages talked about mail-in envelopes and putting a stamp on it and mailing your payment to APA. I'm like, yeah, we don't do that anymore. So we got rid of all that. We changed some slight things along with it. I will go over a couple of the major changes that we are implementing. So make sure the bylaws are on the website and they're also on they're going to be uploaded to the APA app once they're approved by the franchise legal team. So we've actually put in, I have a copy of an unofficial one that I'm reading off of, but we put it in to get it redone. It has to go through the legal team before they'll actually put it on the website. So as of right now, you'll still see our old bylaws, but the things that are coming up, hopefully in January, that will change. We've changed this. In the past, we had it as in the last 4 weeks of play, the power shifts to the opposing captain to allow or not allow a team to replay or take a forfeit. Well, across the board, we've seen issues with this. Some teams know how to handle this, other teams don't. Well, we're taking the power away from you. So, you guys can blame it on us. The league operators say, from now on, in the last 3 weeks of play, it is an automatic forfeit, period. Nobody can replay a match in the last 3 weeks of play if you do not have 5 people there. Is everybody clear on that? That's going to state right in the bylaws. Up until the last 3 weeks, and this is in any given session. So let's say you have a 15-week session, it's the last 3 weeks. If you have a 16-week session, it's the last 3 weeks. If it's a 12-week session, it's the last 3 weeks. Tara.
What if you arrange with the captain prior to do a match in advance? You know, you only have 4?
Pre-plays do not fall into this.
Okay.
This bylaw is strictly for you showed up and you have 4 people or 3 people, then you would take 2 forfeits. If you only have 3 people. If you can't get 5 people there and meet 12 of 15, I mean, you had other issues along the way, I'm sure. You're not in the running for first place. But hypothetically, the other thing that's going to change, in the last 3 weeks, forfeits are just like playoffs. If you forfeit a match, you're going down 3-0. If you set it 2-0. In 9-ball, it's a 20-0. So, in the last 3 weeks, it's just like playoff points if you're going to forfeit.
Can we let them play if we just don't care? Like if
No, I'm taking the points of power away.
okay.
No. It is a ultimate forfeit. And the reason why we had it in there is because, just like she said in the video, we want to prevent forfeits, because forfeits still have to be paid for by the team. If you double play somebody, it still has to be paid for by the team. It shouldn't come down to that one person that was forced to replay to pay the difference. I mean, hypothetically, you should take the league fees and divide it by 4 and make it fair for everybody. So, in the end, I would prefer you not have 5 players and everybody share the wealth equally. I would prefer, in my case, if it was my team, even on nights like, for example, here we have an in-house league where everybody pays $25 table fees. I would suggest that you divide that by 8. Why should 5 people that get to play, I mean, did not all 8 people practice an hour beforehand? I mean, they should have to pay for some of it. If you divide it by 8, then everybody's paying a $3 table fee. End of story. So if you shoot that night, you're paying $14. 11 plus the $3 table fee. I mean, yeah, I know it's 25. Hey, John Tree's calling me. That's spam risk.
I am not. Oh, it's spam. Gotcha. New phone, who dis?
Alright, so anyways, teams may only forfeit 3 matches in the last 3 weeks. Otherwise, you will lose. If you are in the playoffs or in the running for the playoffs, you will not be eligible for the playoffs. And what I mean by that is if you forfeit 2 matches in one week and then another match in the 3rd week, that's 3 matches total in the last 3 weeks, then you'll probably not be in the playoff drawing. Cannot forfeit more than 3 matches, I should say. 3, you're okay.
What if you're in
4,
first place?
Huh?
What if you're in the first place and?
Sorry about your luck. Don't forfeit.
I'm with you, G.
You won't be there, Gio.
Yeah, I was second last season.
That's not first.
Fine, what if you're second and no one can get it?
So that means, like in a playoff match, if, let's just say I only have 4 players, and I'm in a playoff match, and I have to forfeit in the playoffs, the other team gets 3 points instead of 2 points. If I forfeit, or let's just say I forfeit in week 2, because I only have 3 players or something like that. 1 person, 2 people can play twice. If I have to forfeit one, it's only 2 points that goes to the other team. But in the last 3 weeks, it's going to be 3 points that goes to the other team. All this is doing, guys, is trying to prevent, and this has been across, what we learned from convention was, you have teams that are already qualified. And they're sitting there and they're going, hey, you know, I'm already qualified. You guys need points. We'll just forfeit 2 points to you. You know, in the last 2 matches, we'll call it an early night, and you guys get to jump from 3rd place into 2nd place, or vice versa. It's teams helping teams, and we don't want that. We want the match to be determined on the table. And so, in that aspect, go up there, get your players, and just shoot your matches. Like I said, we're pulling out the part of in the bylaws that says there's mail-in envelopes. There's none of that. We don't do mail-in envelopes. Electronic scoring, there's going to be a whole section in there for electronic scoring, so keep that in mind. We do Zelle or PayPal. We don't do Venmo, we don't have Venmo or anything like that. So electronic scoring will take care of all the paperwork. The only thing that the team will have to do is Zelle at the end of the night. Now this is where it's going to start to get a little tricky. We've been very, very lenient. Yes?
Just real quick to back up, just to clarify. So all the way up until the last 3 weeks of however many weeks are in the session, there can be double plays?
Absolutely.
Without forfeits?
Without forfeits.
Okay, all right.
And actually, let me reiterate, when it not can, the other team must allow you.
Must allow it, right?
Yes.
It has to be agreed upon.
No.
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 The other team must allow you to replay somebody.
Oh, they have to?
They have to.
Without, they don't have a choice.
They get to
They pick the player.
Pick the plays.
But they have to allow it to happen.
Okay.
So up until then, they have to allow it.
So, I don't know if Tara asked that. So in the last 3 weeks, you know you're gonna be short one. Can you pre-schedule the match? Play it before that week?
Yes.
Yes.
If you're taking the initiative as a captain and you know that you're going to be short and you want to say, hey, let's pre-play this one match, just like the app says, you can start the match and then it just stay in submitted. It goes in as a partial and then the rest of the matches can be played at a later date.
I will say though, if it is something like if you're pre-playing it 2 weeks ahead, you'll have to let us know so we can release that score sheet to you.
Okay.
Yes, we do not release score sheets until usually Friday morning or afternoon.
I do see that there could be some problem when the other team says no. Like I don't want
The other team can't say no.
for pre-playing.
Oh, for pre-play. Well, that's something that you have to work out with the other captain. If the other captain says, no, I don't have any available schedule, anybody here, I mean, you can also try to see if they can post-play. That's something that's an option. And that's only in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, but now they're gonna put a strain on the other person if he cannot accommodate pre or post play.
Well, that's when you would call me, and then that's when I would get involved. Or you would call with like find it, or some other options. But in those rare situations, we understand life happens and life's a concern. And like stuff happens. Don't get us wrong. Like some of your fine-tuned things. If you're in second place going into week whatever, like here was an example that I used. Let's say you have 6 people on your roster. Okay, we've been doing good all session long. And then at the end of the session, we're in the last 3 weeks. 2 of my players that are on my team are husband and wife. Grandma passed away. That is totally total acceptable. And then that would be something that I can alter the rule with. Because that is something that was out of anybody's control and totally understandable why these 2 players are missing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So in that aspect, we would allow a replay or we would allow a match to be made up at a different time. Because the husband and wife are going to be leaving, which leaves you short one player. It's not your fault. Life happened, and that's a sorry situation. So that's an example. So run the scenarios by us, and then we'll adjust it accordingly. Any other questions with the replay? Okay. The other thing, we've been very lenient with allowing teams and individual players to zell us. We would prefer and almost demand that comes to an end. As we grow bigger and bigger, do you know how much time it takes us to track down an $11 payment from 340 some players, and then figure out what team and what night he played when he plays on 3 nights? This $11 goes to what? And then we have to make phone calls, and then we have to figure out where to put this money. It's becoming more and more frequent, and we want to get away from it. So what we're asking is, one captain or one player from the team zell us the amount of money that needs to be owed. Everybody else can zell the captain. If you want to individually zell your captain $16 or whatever, and let the captain pay the difference or pay one zell to us. Does everybody understand that? Any questions? I can't. The other biggest thing, if you're paying cash, that's what the envelopes are still there for. So you are still going to get an envelope on an in-house league, but if you're just going to pay with cash, just put the cash in the manila envelope, and then we'll collect them at the end of the night. So cash or Zelle or PayPal. Those are the only ones that we really offer.
Not mailing.
No, we're not going to mail.
No Bitcoin.
No Bitcoin. No bartering. Make sure your default apps are set to Northeast Phoenix APA. Several of you guys have played in different leagues. Doug and Gina's league, might have been Lance and Tina's, Mike and Tammy Ritter's. It all depends on what you have, where you were signed up for, or who you signed up with is set to your default. If you need help resetting your default to Northeast Phoenix, ask Kristen. She can go and show you. It's just going up and clicking a button and then setting your default to Northeast Phoenix APA.
That'll be especially helpful too if you have, when you go to renew your membership. So you're renewing it under the right name.
Yes. Make sure that you are checking your emails or that I have your correct emails on file. If you're not receiving our emails, check your junk mail. Check with Facebook, and also on the app itself, make sure you're looking at the news and the posts that are on there. Because then we can come around, or that's where we post our tournaments. That's where we post what's coming up. Read the dates on it. Make sure you click on open before you tell me that the date said 11/20. What you see on the app is when I posted it.
I noticed that because I was like, everything says 11/9. What's happening on 11/9?
No, you have to click on it and then go in and read it, and it'll tell
Like
you
everything.
when that tournament.
And I already
is.
missed it.
Our website. So if you look right here, I can show you our website. Our website is basically, I'm going to go to it real quick. Our website looks like this. From our website, you can find a lot of information. This is where you can register for tournaments. So any tournament we have open, if it's a singles, a doubles, or a team event, like for example, the 9-ball doubles tournament coming up is the doubles, and it will show you all the tournaments that we have. We have a low-limit Scotch tournament that registrations has opened, which means you have to be an 8 or under handicap, combined handicap. We also have the 9-ball doubles, which you can see real quickly that 3 people have registered for, and you can even see who registered. So I mean, you can click on register, it'll ask you to log in, you can sign up your own team, you don't need me to do it, everything's done right there online. Singles, notice right here it says charity chip tournament. Go online, click on it, and all you're doing is you're putting your name on the list saying that you're going to be there. That's all you're doing. So that way I know how much tables I need. I know how much or how big the brackets need to be or whatnot. If I'm doing brackets, right now I limited it at 32. So you guys can click on that. Our schedule. Our schedules are updated right from our end, so you can see when you play if you click on schedules. If you click on rules and bylaws, it'll show you, these are all the rules you can click on. Our bylaws are right here. These are our old bylaws, our new ones are going to be updated. The OTM manuals that you see up here. So this is an OTM, that they refer to as an OTM player's manual. This has all the rules that are in it. I won't say all the rules. It has the majority of the common rules. This is actually getting revamped by National Office legal team, and they're coming out with a new one in January. There's going to be some slight changes, and it's mainly just they're putting a section in there for the electronic scoring. So right now this one has nothing about electronic scoring. Everything is on paper for this one. They're adding that in. So they're going to reprint these, but if you would like a copy of one, you can grab one from up here. We have these. All you got to do is ask for them. My bylaws and my manual goes right in one of these little binders, and I carry it with me to league night. And then I have little tabs on mine for all the common rules and stuff like that. So use our website for that. Also, under contact and feedback, if you have a skill level that you've been watching from some of the other teams, you don't need to call me, you don't need to text me. All you have to do is go down here to a skill level evaluation. It'll have you fill out a little form, and it automatically comes to me. All I need is evidence to go in and look at somebody. The reason why this happens, a lot of times, I'm just going to use Grisha and Robert. Let's say Robert fills out a form complaining about Grisha. First thing, let's just say let's say Robert calls me. Let's say Robert calls me and says, "Hey, I'm complaining about Grisha's handicap. I think he's way over handicapped or under handicapped." First thing I'm going to say to him is probably, "Hey, Grisha has never called me saying that he feels he's under handicapped." So, kind of like going back to a school teacher side of me, I'm not to discuss somebody else's grade with you. Does that make sense? Fill out the form, and I will do a deep dive on him and go back and look at his history. But until then, I'm not doing anything. Does everybody understand that?
Yep.
And you can simply do it. It's anonymous. Only person that gets it is me or Kristen. Nobody else knows you even did it, and you can do it all on your own.
And everything is recorded, man.
Yes. Sportsmanship complaints, same form, different section. You're just going to type in what was there. Once again, if there's ever any concerns or issues with anything, leave. Just say, you know what, be the bigger man, be the bigger woman. Just say, hey, you know what, that's fine, no problem. You guys can just have the match. And then just leave. That doesn't mean that they're going to get the match. That doesn't mean anything's going to happen. But it's not worth any type of confrontations. Just walk away, leave the night, go back about your business, text me or fill out that form, and then I'll investigate and I'll do the deep dive on what goes on. Does everybody understand that?
What if you know you got a 1-star, but you know nobody punched anybody?
What if
There
you
was
know-
nothing physical. There was nothing
Well,
physical.
1-star, what she said, a 1-star
It has to be
is
physical.
technically a physical.
I know we've gotten a 1-star and we've never hit anybody.
Yeah.
I want that reviewed.
Well, even verbally, I mean, we understand things get heated, things go into consideration. I mean, just walk away. I mean, walk away and fill out a form, or even just, all you gotta do is simply just write it down and then just send it in. That's it. I mean, there's no concerns with it. I wouldn't waste 2 seconds with it. And I would just call me, or not call me, I would fill out a form, and maybe the next day, send me a text or call me. But don't do it when everybody's heated. It's rough. I mean, especially at 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, it's just rough. There's nothing I can do that night, because by the time I drive there, or by the time I get to this place, everything's pretty much done, tolerated, and gone. So it's like, I have to go do my own thing, but I have to do it on a different time. Nominating good sportsmanships. That's also a good thing. I mean, if you have somebody that was really, really cool, fill out a form, we have patches for that. We can give them a patch. We want to reward good sportsmanship. So, just these are forms here that you can fill out. If you also go here to APA forms, this is where you can actually print off your team certification form. If you're a world qualified team, you can actually print out your form and you can review it and sign it, and you can bring it to you on the day of the world qualifier. If it's a patch request form, you can click on this patch request form and you can request a certain patch. Like maybe you didn't get one. Maybe Eddie never wrote it down and it's just in window somewhere.
I'm gonna blow up that box, Rich.
Well, electronic, but still.
Common things like good sportsmanship would show up, right?
No, racklesses don't show up. I have to look for them.
Good sportsmanship, if you can type in the comment page, you can put it on there as well.
Yeah, any of your comments on that electronic score sheet, if somebody hit an 8 on the break, on the electronic scoring, I would see it. 8 on the break. 9 on the snap, I'd see. 8 break and run, I'll see.
Racklesses should show, right?
No,
They show
rackless
automatically.
it doesn't prompt me to say it was a rackless. It just says, I just have to look for the points where 3-0. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So that's all with that. So then you can also, from our website, you can click on blank score sheets, and you can download blank score sheets if you want to play at home. If you want to practice at home, you can download a complete blank one and print one off. If you want to, practice with your teammates. So I mean, all of this stuff is here and it's available to you. Registrations, individual registrations. If you want to split a team, all of that stuff is from our website. All I'm trying to say is just get familiar with the website. The website is there to help you guys, not hurt you guys. Yeah, memberships. We're going to get a lot of this over the next couple of months. So, APA, if you are an original or if you are a returning APA member and you filled out your membership prior to December 1st, you will be prompt again to pay $15. Just ignore it and send me a text or something of that sort. It's a little glitch in their system that they have to fix, but right now it's kind of on the back burner. So
what that entails, like if you sign up in November to play and you haven't played yet, but you're planning on playing in the spring session, they are going to prompt you when you play in spring, they go $15 more for you, because you never played in spring.
what you will do is you will just prompt up, call us, text us, and say, hey, I have a player that was brand new, signed up in November to play for the spring, and he paid his membership, now he owes another $15. It's saying he owes another $15. Just text me, and we'll get it waived. It's that simple. So,
Renewals as well?
no.
Renewals, they open to that November 1st, so anybody that was currently playing, if you renewed already, it's not gonna affect you.
Yeah, we get a prompt that says it was early renewal membership. So if you've already paid your 30 for 2026, then you're good to go for 2026. If you're a brand new player and registered in November to play in, because my spring session starts December 1st, if you registered in November and paid your membership, it will prompt you in December to pay another 15. Just text me, we'll take care of it. Singles boards. So we just started running singles boards, and it took us a while to run singles boards because we wanted to figure out the best way to run them. For us personally, we are no longer going to do guaranteed boards. What a guaranteed board is when you find 4 people that want to shoot, everybody pays $5 greens fees, and then you play until you win a board. And what we've learned and discovered across these conventions and talking with the franchises is that when you do those, nobody has skin in the game. And it promotes people to dump to other people so they can win a board. So from now on, we're not going to do those. Other league operators do other things. There's splash boards, there's this, there's that. But for the most part, if I get 8 people, it's going to be $25 a person. We'll run a board. The winner of the board gets to go to the regionals and play in the regionals. So the board, instead of costing you $168, the board's only going to cost you $25. But if you lose, then you're out $25. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I'm just getting rid of it because we do not want, those boards get inputted just like any other score sheet. And so that goes on your record and that goes on your thing. And if you're just doing it to help Joe Blow get to the regionals, then you're not doing it for a legitimate reason, and that's technically sandbagging. You're dumping for Joe Blow to get to regionals. And so we're trying to prevent that. We don't want it to happen. So from now on, every singles board we run, it's just going to take the number of people that are on the board and divide it by whatever it costs, and that's what everybody's going to owe. So covered that. We covered why we did it. Official manuals are up here. Anybody can get it. We'll hand them to you. They're free. You can have it. No problem. We do have some. They're coming. OTMs are going to slightly change. Get familiar with them, especially page 77. So now that we're coming into the rules, or into the spring session, page 77 talks about the World Qualifying Tournament. So here are the 2 biggest rules that most teams do not understand. 4 original members from any qualified team must be active and on that team for that team to be retain its qualifications. That's the first rule. The second rule, on page 77, is the 50% rule. The 50% rule says any team that is qualified, whether they qualify in the summer or the fall, must be in the 50% of the following, on the top 50% of the following division, or the following session. That does not say that they will automatically lose qualifications. It's just saying that APA will look at you with a lot of scrutiny. Because what they've learned over the 50 years that they've been doing this is that
Sandbag.
any team that qualifies in one session and then ends up in last place the next session
Sandbag
is typically doing something. Not saying all the time. They're just saying over the course of the 50 years, it's typically somebody doing something. And they're trying to do something with that. So they implemented this 50% rule, but it's still at the discretion of the league operators. We're the ones that are seeing what's going on. We're the ones that know what goes on in our leagues. And so it says in the rule book that it's under, it's league operators' discretion. If that team actually wins the World Qualifier, now it is out of my hands. Now it's going to go to the national office. They are going to be the ones that are evaluating every single player since you qualify. So keep that in mind when you're competing. You do not want to try to fall below that 50 percentile. All we've been doing is asking teams to simply give us a reason why, so we have it on our file. So if we get contacted, we have an answer for APA. Not saying that we will ever get, I'm not saying that we will ever get contacted. I'm just saying we're looking to cover our own ass. Does that make sense? All right, so page 77 talks about that. The other thing that a lot of players don't understand, especially the captains, if your team is qualified and you have 8 players on your team, if you split that team, 4 original members are still on 2 teams. So 2 teams are now qualified for the World Qualifier.
Wait, what? Say that again.
If you're a qualifying team, and you have 8 members on your team and you qualify, say you just won the fall session, then you take 4 of those members and start a team, and the other 4 start another team. Both teams have 4 original members, so both teams are qualified.
So it's a way to get all 8 of you and also get 4 new players to join you. So say you're on the top end of your handicaps and you win the World Qualifier, you win the World Qualifier, or the division. If you win the division, you're going to the World Qualifier. If now you decide to split 4 here, 4 there, now you can take 2 teams. But on the same hand, you cannot play for 2 teams. You can only play for 1. So you can take 4 members and go here and add 4 to it. You can take 4 members here and add 4 to it. And then you can have both teams having a fun time in the World Qualifiers to go to Vegas. Remember, because we are small still, we do not have a tri-cities, or what they want to call a triannual nowadays. The triannual is usually where at the end of every session, and that's usually where the money was paid out. Until you reach that size of your division, our money was paid out at the World Qualifier. So when you go to the World Qualifier, whether or not we have 8 teams, 10 teams, 12 teams, most of the time, all 12 teams are getting money. Now, how much money you get depends on you. If you keep winning, your money keeps going up. If you win the whole World Qualifier, then you win the trip to Vegas, which is about $4,200 or however it comes out to. Does that make sense? If you're the first team out, if you're 2 and done, you might get $200. I don't know. Divided by 8, not very much money. Any questions with that? So, spring session. Make sure that you have, you only have 4 weeks to lock in your roster, especially if you are a qualified team. If you're not a qualified team, you have the entire spring session to change your roster. But if you are a qualified team, whoever is on your roster after the 4th week is the team that is going to the World Qualifier. So we had this question earlier. What if we won the division and then I want to join this team? Well, if you join that team and that team's not qualified, then that player will not be on that roster after the 4th week. So therefore that player will not go to the World Qualifier. Okay? All right, last thing that we wanted to cover was just basically what's coming up in the future. So we actually like this, and what we're trying to bring back to, or introduce, I guess, or things that we've missed, is we want to bring back a formal dinner for the players' appreciation. And we want all players to be able to attend this. This will not be held at a pool hall. This will not be held anywhere. It's going to be a formal, you got to have a dress code. And we want to do all of our awards at this banquet, basically. Kind of like back in high school when you did the winter sports dance, you know, and then your coach got up there and got to talk about this player. We're gonna do some weird awards, you know, like the most colorful dressed.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Maybe we'll do something like, you know, some captain's picks awards where you get to nominate something and give an award to a player, or now maybe not even on your team, maybe it's somebody else. But we want to do some fun things. We're going to provide the dinner, and it's just going to be a dinner. We want to do this kind of towards the end of the spring session, so it's after, because APA runs summer to spring. So we want it to be a full year, and then we'll rent out a hall or something like that, and then we'll go there and have dinner. We'll all meet, pass out some awards, some trophies, whatever, and then we'll just no trophies, and we'll just go from there.
How about a patch? Just give me a patch.
Well, we might do patches, but there's no gonna be, you won't need to bring your pool sticks because there's no pool tables. It's just gonna be dinner and some awards and maybe some like mingling, talking. We want to build something here that we can basically call home. You know, we enjoy this. We like this whole entire area. We love all the people that play with us, and we feel that the more that we can do that, we justify it as a family. Now, granted, every single one of us just got done with Thanksgiving. We all know that we can only take so much of the family, right? There's always that black sheep of the family. My brother is the black sheep of my family. And so, I might disagree with my brother. I might totally say, dude, you're wrong. But I still love my brother. You know? Same with you guys. We might have arguments, we might have discrepancies, but I still consider every single one of you guys family, and I still consider everybody, I would help anybody if you call and ask. If anybody needs help, or maybe knows somebody who knows somebody and would like, you know, maybe you need a mechanic or electrician. I mean, we might know people that play for us in the APA, and they're people that you can trust. They're not going to tell you something wrong. We're not perfect. We strive to do everything we can to do everything by you guys, for you guys. But being a new franchise owner, this is new to us, and we've only been doing this for a year, and we're still learning different things. We just went to our first conference, and we learned a lot, but it's still new. Things you can't do. Things that other league operators were doing they got busted for. I mean, things you'd never think about. But remember that we do have the incentive program. If you start a new team with all new players, you get $55 after the 8th week that you play. If you bring in a brand new player and he puts you down as a referral, you get $11 free play. If you split a team, both teams receive $25, $25 each. So if you take 4 people and go here and 4 people go there, after the 8th week, you'll get $25 credit. You can use those credits however you want to use them. Monday 9-ball travel division. We started a Monday 9-ball travel division out of 2 bars. Anybody interested in that, just send them to us. It plays right now out of Playa in the arena. We're looking to expand that more and play more. It plays Monday nights, just like on Wednesdays, but it's Monday nights. Starts at 7. Tuesday doubles. We do have a Tuesday double division. It plays right now currently out of Tosos, but we're getting ready to max that place out. So if you know somebody or you and a partner want to play, that is, anybody that plays in the doubles division, that's a Vegas qualifying division. So I mean, you could actually qualify for doubles. We're not going to run a doubles tournament this year. We're going to run a 9-ball doubles because we don't have a 9-ball division. This is an 8-ball division. We have the charity event coming up December 10th or December 13th. So our charity event coming up December 13th, where if you bring a toy, an unwrapped toy, you will get an extra chip. That's going to be a chip tournament. We also have on this January 10th, we have the low limit doubles. This is just for fun. This one, the way this one works is both players have to be a combined skill level of 8 or under, and it's Scotch doubles. And then we have our 9-ball Vegas qualifier doubles tournament coming up. That's going to be January 31st. And something that I didn't put on here because I didn't want to get too far in advance, but on February 28th will be the high limit doubles, just for fun. Which means you have to be a 10 or higher combined handicap. So you can go, 2 sevens to play together in that one. But it's going to be an 8-ball doubles tournament, just like the low limit. So we're trying to accommodate everybody. We are going to start playing more and more fun tournaments every other weekend, trying to get at least 1 or 2 a month. So keep an eye out on the news for them. Once again, our world qualifiers. So summer, fall, and spring. If you're a world qualified team, May 16th and 17th is the 8-ball world qualifier to go to Las Vegas. June 6th and 7th is the 9-ball world qualifier to go to Las Vegas. The second chance tournament. So if you lost in the playoffs and you were the runner-up, that means your team was automatically put into a second chance tournament. You have one more shot to get into the world qualifier. That tournament will be played for 9-ball on May 2nd, and for 8-ball Sunday, May 3rd. So those are the tournaments for that coming up. Our MVP tournament, if you won an MVP in any session, summer, fall, or spring, MVP tournament will be April 25th. All the MVPs will show up here and compete, and just for cash. That's the only thing you're playing for.
Just for cash.
You're basically playing in your bracket too, by the way. We run 3 brackets on that day. So we run a 4s and 5s, we run a 1 or 2s and 3s.
What you
we run
got
a
it
6s
at?
and 7s.
What
Huh?
you got it at, or what you're at?
What you're at.
What you're at when you get it?
Correct. All the ways to reach us. Once again, our emails are up here. Text message, phone numbers, Facebook, website, Google site. We have all of this different things that you can use to help us out. Any questions, concerns over the captain's meeting? Any more comments? Anything anyone want to add? Charity event is December 13th, and it'll start at 2 p.m. It'll be a chip tournament.
We should send captain's team to the next Vegas.
Oh, send a captain's team? So in order to send a captain's team, I gotta get enough captains that are willing to join it. And then it's either going to be, well, if I have more than 4, you can only have 4 on your team, but if I have more, or 5 on your team, but only 3 people play.
Tournament or something.
Yeah, if I have more than just that, then I have to do a tournament. The biggest thing is, the hardest thing is most of my captains are the higher ranked. And so to get somebody at 15 and under, because you have to have 3 players at 15 or under.
But everyone higher than 6 counted as 6.
Yeah. Other than that, we are going to run an 8-ball double elimination tournament right now as soon as we clear out the food and undo these tables. The tournament is going to be free to you guys. We are paying out, and we're also raffling off all of this stuff that's up here. So everybody's name is going to be into a hat, and we're going to draw for all these prizes. The tournament, once I find out how many are in it, I'll figure out the payouts. It's just a double elimination. On the front side, or on the winner's side, it's going to be a race to 2. On the back side, it's going to be a race to 1. So it's double elimination. Also, alternate break on the front side. Any questions? All right, so give me about 20 minutes to uncover these tables, or you guys can help me, and we'll get all the balls put out. You guys can warm up and practice. We'll turn the music back on, and Congratulations, Ohio State Buckeyes.